This is The Professional Stepdad, a place where we share stories, strategies, and ideas for men just like you to help answer that one important question: how can I be a better stepdad?
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Professional Stepdad Podcast. I am your host, Franco Zavala. Thank you very much for tuning in, showing up. This is episode 24. I'm going to jump right into a couple things today. Today's usually Wednesday Q&A, but I had a couple things that were happening in my circle of influence in my life, and I wanted to not only share with you, but I wanted to kind of ask you guys for advice, but more importantly, I wanted to address some of the concerns that I have for the groups that I belong to or the people that I speak to. So a question was proposed to me, and I now want to, kind of ask you guys, and I wrote it down here on my papers. It says, what are you holding on to that is keeping you in the fight? And it was a great question because as men and as leaders who, are not only striving to be the very best that we could be, but like trying to balance career and relationship and being a good father and not stepping on toes and overcoming obstacles and dealing with adversity. As stepdads, what are we holding on to that's keeping us in the game? Like, why do we continue to fight? Is it our pride? Is it the fact that you made a commitment to something and your pride won't allow you to let it go because you don't want to seem like a failure at the job? Is it proving yourself or somebody wrong that is close to you? Is it the fact that you don't want to be seen as a quitter? These are questions and that continue to happen. That continue to come to me as I move forward in my journey. Like, what keeps me in the game? Like, why am I still here? Why am I putting up with all this shit? Why am I putting up with all the judgment? Why am I putting up with the constant inability to be the kind of leader that I want to be because I feel constrained? I feel held back by my circumstance, which is you're not the real dad type thing, right? And as I'm saying this out loud, I'm saying this and I'm understanding and realizing this is about me. That's how I really felt in year 3, 4, maybe even 5. Now, a big difference. Now I've climbed that mountain. I'm over that hump, and I'm on a level plane where I am the father of the home. I'm the dad. My punishments, the way I lead are not questioned. My wife and I are a great team. My kids and I are connected, and I blocked out all outside force, right? So with that being said, I'm wondering what's keeping you in the game. Like, why are you doing what you're doing? I mean, really ask yourself that question. Yes, a lot of it probably has to do with love. You probably fell in love with your partner and you were willing to be with her no matter what, or with him no matter what. Well, what keeps you there? What keeps you moving forward, knowing that you're going to be judged, knowing that you're going to be ridiculed, knowing that people are going to talk behind your backs, knowing that people secretly want you to fail? What's keeping you in your life? What's keeping you in your home? Because there are a lot of stepdads that stepped into their family with good intent and an open heart and optimism, but they probably shouldn't be there, but they don't want to let it go because they're afraid of, like I said, the previous things, the failure, the judgment, all that stuff. And and you need to know that you're doing a disservice to not only your partner, but the kids within the home and everyone around them. You're doing them a disservice because you're not fully in. And I always come back to this, right? I always come back to this one foot out the door type thing because that's how I see and that's how I felt. Like I was never fully committed as a stepdad until I fully committed myself as a stepdad, right? Meaning I always had that thing in the back of my mind, which was, if I disappeared, if I went away, I mean, nothing would, they would probably forget about it. I'm not having much impact, or, everybody would nobody would miss me type thing. Poor me, crybaby type shit. And then I started asking myself, am I guilty of needing, wanting, and waiting? Like, am I guilty of needing to be needed? Am I guilty of needing to, have somebody tell me I'm doing a great job, or have the kids love me or look at me like I'm the father? Was I wanting my partner to allow me full control of the home? Or was I wanting everybody to let me just do what I'm gonna do? And was I waiting for the right moment and the right time before I kind of went all in, right? Or was I waiting for my exit? And a lot of stepdads, just be honest with yourself. This is one of those honest Wednesday moments. Be honest with yourself. Are you guilty of needing, wanting, and waiting? Are you guilty of not being full in? Are you? It's a real question. I mean, you could be honest with yourself. There's nothing wrong with your answer, just so you know. Because for the majority of men that are in our position, it takes a lot of self-confidence to stay. It takes a lot of self-confidence to continue to move forward in a way where we feel like we're making a positive impact with in our homes, and with our children, and with our partner. And I'm saying all this because this is just things are going in my head. Like, I'm in conversations with a few gentlemen yesterday, and I'm doing what I can to try to build a platform so that stepdads that are coming behind us can actually see what we're doing or read about what we were doing or what we did, and apply it to their journey. So it kind of changes the narrative of what it means to be a stepdad. Period. That's kind of where what this show represents, why I do what I do, And for those of you who don't already know this, after 9 years of doing this, I realized that it was time for me to just share my journey and share what's worked for me. Because here's the thing, I don't think that I'm a rare individual or a rare stepdad that has defeated or won some sort of a game where now I'm winning totally in my story, because I'm not, right? I'm still working on my relationships with my children. I'm still going through the obstacles and the journeys of being a husband and a father and a leader. I still have self-doubt. But the difference between what I'm going through and what a lot of you are going through is that when all that stuff hits me, I've done the mental work to push it aside and continue to move forward and take what I need to learn out of it, drop it into my life and my journey to where I can apply it in a positive way and continue to move forward. And for a lot of you, you're not there yet, or you don't even know how to get there because nobody's ever really shared anything with you. For instance, one of the smartest things I ever did as a stepdad was to read the 5 love languages. Why? Because it helped me understand who I was. What's my love language? What do I love more than anything? For me, it's words of affirmation. I love it when my wife comes into my office or my kids tell me that they're proud of me, or my wife says, I saw the last episode. I love what you're saying. That kind of stuff fills my spirit, right? For my wife, her love language is physical touch. I know that grazing her shoulder or hugging her from behind or kissing her on the neck, these little tiny things throughout the day fill her love tank. And when I say love tank, I mean that sense of being valued within the home and by your partner. And the smartest thing I did was to read those love languages because it helped me understand my partner, helped me understand, it further helped me understand me, It further helped me understand my partner. And then I parlayed that into the 5 love languages for children, and that opened up everything on how I speak to my kids and how I punish my kids and how I direct my kids and the type of negative and positive motivation I need through each child in order to help them get to a decision. See, that's one of the biggest mistakes that we make as men and as stepdads and as leaders within our home, is that we try to solve everybody's problems. And that's not what they need. They don't need you to solve their problem. They need you to listen, and they need you to like help point them in the direction to where they can go fail or succeed. That's our job as leaders. That's what every great leader does. Every great leader will point his people in the direction that they feel that they need to go, but they don't make decisions for them, nor do they try to persuade them to do what they want them to do. Like for most of our parents, probably, they all told you that college, get good grades, go to college, be a doctor, or whatever it might be, was like the thing to do. We do not want to push our insecurities about our life or about our journey or about what we see or how we view the world on our kids. It's our responsibility to help water the seeds within their creativity so that they can continue to move forward with their journey without making decisions for them, but being a champion along their way. So for me, to answer this question, which is, why am I here? What's keeping me here? What's keeping me in the fight? And for me, what's keeping me in the fight is the continued growth and development of the relationships that I've built with each individual person within my home, with my son, with my daughters, and with my wife. That keeps me in the game because it's a constant growth and it's a constant change. And that, for me, excites me because it's something that I look forward to. Something I cherish within the moments. I invite arguments and failures because that's the only way I can learn as a stepfather, as a father, as a leader, as a husband. That's the only way we can learn. We do our very best to avoid these failures, but in reality, we need to embrace them. So with you, what's keeping you in the fight? Why are you there? Be honest with yourself. Really be honest with yourself. Why are you still there? If you can't answer that question competently, you might want to rethink it. That doesn't mean quit. I'm not telling you to walk away. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm telling you to write this shit down. I'm telling you to start to change your disciplines, right? I mean, if you really want to affect real change within your home, it starts with a few disciplines done every day, right? That's how you create real change, and it's not a get rich overnight thing or a lose weight in 5 days type stuff. It doesn't happen fast is what I'm saying. You have to have patience with it. But a few simple disciplines done every day that when you work on, and these are your few simple disciplines you need to do. You need to first start with you, then start with the us part of it, which is you and your partner, and then the we, which is, you, we, us, yeah. So start with you and then go with your partner and then focus on the children on an individual level. And here's your biggest challenge. And here's what I challenge you to do. I challenge you to block out all outside forces and distractions. That includes the bio dad, a mom, the family, nosy neighbors, in-laws. I challenge you to build a positive force field around your world within your home and only try to control your environment. Because the moment that you engage in outside negative forces, those outside negative forces win. And they win every time. It is your job and it is your responsibility as a stepdad and as a leader to demonstrate to your children and demonstrate to your partner that no matter what happens, you're not going to let things get to you. You're going to creatively find a positive way around it so that you can implement it within your family and you can continue to move forward step by step. That's it. That's your job. That's how you win as a stepdad. And first step is asking yourself, is looking in the mirror and saying, what am I holding on to? What is keeping me here? What are you holding on to? What's keeping you there? Write it down. Post it on a wall. Put it in your mirror in front of you when you wake, when you brush your teeth in the morning. Let it be a constant reminder as, like for me, for this podcast, for this YouTube show, and for everything that I do with the Professional Stepdad, it's to positively influence stepdads on a global scale. That is my why. There's no other direction I'm going to take this. I want to positively influence stepdads on a global scale. That's it. I want to change the narrative in such a way to where when you hear the word stepdad or you hear about someone having a stepdad, it's spoken in a positive light instead of a negative darkness. So, what's keeping you here? It's a short one today, right? Like I said, I was gonna do some Q&As, but I don't want to. I'm wondering, why are you in the fight? What's keeping you there? I'm gonna be posting this on my social media today too. I'm gonna ask these questions to stepdads, and I encourage you to answer me, even if it's just in a DM. I would love to know. Not like I'm sharing it with anybody, but sometimes it feels good to get shit off your chest. I promise. And if you're too proud of a man to ask for help or to go see somebody or to go talk to somebody, or you can't even have this conversation with your partner, have it with me. I'm not here to judge you. I'm here to listen. It's my job. Guys, thanks very much for joining me. This is Wednesday, episode 24. What's keeping you in the fight? Why are you here? I'll talk to you guys soon.
Quiet on the set, please. Thank you, everybody.